The Texas A&M AgriLife Extension Service has been dedicated to educating Texans for over a century. In 1915, the Extension Program was established under the federal Smith-Lever Act to deliver university knowledge and agricultural research findings directly to the people. Ever since, AgriLife Extension programs have addressed the emerging issues of the day, serving diverse populations across the state. Texans turn to Extension for solutions in horticulture, agriculture, 4-H and youth, and family and consumer sciences. Extension agents respond not only with answers, but also with resources and services that result in significant returns on investment to boost the economy. Join us Fridays at 1 o'clock for the AgriLife Extension Hour. Today on the AgriLife Extension Hour, we will be featuring the Better Living for Texans program with host Yvonne Welther.
Howdy, and welcome to the Extension Hour with Yvonne Welther, your Better Living for Texas representative in Montgomery County. And I am very happy to be here. Today I got some guests with me, and these guests are special because not only do they contribute a lot to the community, but man, they do a lot of volunteer work out there for the youth in Conroe. And my first guest, I actually have two of these ladies in here, and I have Miss Nancy Wagoner, and she is a director of Fearless Boxing, and she's had over 20 years of experience in many sports, and she's also a coach. And this gal, I mean, we're talking about a gal here, she can box, and she's an official in the boxing, USA Boxing, and she's also a pro boxing, she's got a license in the state of Texas to be a pro boxer coach. And we also have Miss Diana Salinas, and she also is a coach and an official for USA Boxing. That is amazing, and I thank you for coming here and joining me today, ladies.
Thank you for having us.
Yes, ma'am. I actually invited you all because today's topic, we're going to be going over women's health, and you being women, and in sports. I mean, I think this is very important that we address some of these issues that's facing women's health. And today we're going to be talking about something that's been in a lot of weighing heavily, with some pun intended, in a lot of people's minds. And you gals know, have you heard about the holiday weight gain?
Yes.
We feel the holiday weight gain.
You feel it? Actually, it's not coming up, but it's actually started during the month of October, in a holiday for most people that's called Halloween. After Halloween, I know I dig into my kids' loot basket. It's the little trick-or-treat bag, and I dig in through there and steal all of their chocolate and stuff like that. And they don't know. But, I do, because the pants start screaming after a while. They're like, okay, come on. That's a little bit too much candy you've been starting to eat there. But, it's also, that's where it starts. It's Halloween, and then we get into the Thanksgiving holidays, and then it's Christmas, and my goodness. So, y'all, what is your guess, Nancy, Diana? What would you say is the average amount of pounds people gain over the holidays?
I say 10.
10?
10 pounds.
Yeah, I'd say 10 to 12.
10 to 12?
Yeah.
Survey says it's 1. 1 pound. But that 1 pound, with in addition to bloating, it's gonna feel like 10. And the thing is, and this is all research-based information. Researchers have shown, and this is I got this information from Stanford, a very well-respected school, and they said, people, contrary to what they believe, and the myth is, you gain 7 pounds. Mm-hmm. And ladies, we have to be careful with our weight because it does a number to us. Especially when it comes to our clothes that won't fit right, to our health, very especially to our health. So we got to watch it with that. And I got some information here, again from Stanford. And it says, while the average American might feel that they gained the 7 pounds, it's actually 1 pound, 1.1 on average. But here's the kicker. If you're already overweight, you're going to probably not gain that 1 pound. You're going to be gaining 5. If you're already overweight. And what do y'all think? I mean, what some of the what contributes to this problem? I mean, what has been your experience? Diana, Nancy?
On weight gain,
Yeah, why does it happen? What sabotages us during that time? It's usually
holidays can lead to depression, which causes more eating, more binge eating, not getting out of the house,
okay.
not moving.
And what about you, Miss Diana? Have you had any experience with this? What has been your experience with the holidays?
The same thing. A lot of depression.
You would
gloomy
think.
days.
Is it because family gets together and
Yes.
it's all just so much for all of us?
Yes.
And you just say, wow,
Too
I'm
many
so
gloomy
overwhelmed
days.
with happiness, I'm depressed.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, sure. And you stop getting out of the house. You stop doing your normal routine.
Oh, okay.
You stop going to the gyms. You stop doing everything so you can concentrate on the holidays, which you
Right.
should continue to go to the gym because that's going to lift your spirit. That's going to give you fellowship with your other friends. Y'all can talk about it. Y'all can discuss it.
Yeah. And you know, this is kind of off the side topic, but I had a friend who was an investigator, who was a detective, and she said the amount, speaking of stress and family being together, the amount of police calls they got over the holidays would always skyrocket, because I was like, why is that? Is it because of all that drinking and stuff? He's like, well, no, because family gets together, and that's when the real problems start. I was like, wow, maybe it will do you good to take a walk outside and, you know,
Right.
decompress, you could say. So to avoid a little bit of that holiday weight gain, and just like Miss Nancy had mentioned, you know, you're kind of, you know, you got people visiting from out of town, so you sleep later and you tend maybe to sit around and talk more, and you know, there's food everywhere. So I mean, the temptation is so hard to not, and you know, your mom wants to feed you, grandma thinks you're too skinny, and it's like, oh, look at you, you know, you need more brittle or chocolate bark or something. So what you want to do is that try not to skip out of that physical activity. Decompress. Go out for a walk. The studies have shown that does really help. You know, your schedule is going to go kaput. You know, you're going to be, your sleep's going to be interrupted. And when you have a problem with sleep, you're probably going to eat more to keep you awake. And that's been my experience personally. When I felt that I've been sleep deprived, I do tend to eat more to keep me awake, or kind of give me energy. That's what I think, and it's not, right? I just need
And
to
if
sleep
you're not
more.
eating the right foods, it's only going to make you more
Yeah.
tired.
Guess what I'm going to be craving when I'm tired? A cinnamon roll, not a carrot stick. So,
Right.
so that's a thing. And also, another issue is alcohol and the kind of foods that's served in the holidays. They're very rich. They're very, very yummy. But by all means, in moderation. And when you have the food out of sight, it will be out of mind. And you know, one thing is that along with the holidays come holiday parties. Am I right? Or am I right? Yes, you get invited. And you know, my mom would always tell me, okay, if you're gonna get invited over to somebody's house, make pretty darn sure you ate something before you get there. It's like, that doesn't make sense, Mom. We're invited for dinner somewhere. It's like, well, I don't want y'all acting like a bunch of hungry people who never get fed, and then you go over and finish all of their food out. It's like, well, okay. And what if you don't like the food, you know? So my mama would always say, eat something before you get there. And that's a great tip. If y'all are going to be invited to like 20 Christmas parties and you know that they're not going to be serving salads, but some of the rich goodies that they serve, by all means do have that healthy food right before you get there. It'll keep your stomach nice and satiated, and you won't be dying of hunger by the time you get there, and you'll feel fine, and you'll have already your healthy food taken care of. Because, you know, most of the times it's just really a bunch of salads and rich cream, gravy, stuff, goodness, stuff.
Tamales.
Yum, tamales. All right. So also what you want to watch out for is maybe some alcohol. Alcoholic drinks can be loaded with calories. A lot of them are sweetened, some eggnog type drinks. And oftentimes in the United States, a lot of the obesity epidemic has been attributed to the drinks. It's an insidious way to get them calories in, and it does a number on us. And a lot of the times, yes, we do get our calories through our beverages. We drink them. We don't feel them. And they just kind of build, and there we go. We got a weight problem going on. And so you want to be careful for that, avoiding any alcoholic. And another problem with alcohol, it lowers your inhibitions. You know what that means. You're going to be fighting with your Uncle Charlie, yes. But you're also going to be probably tempted to be wanting to eat more. and you're going to be like, all right, let's keep this party going. The more I could eat, the more I could drink, I think, is from what I understand. I'm not a drinker myself, but that's what I heard other people say. So, all right. So what you want to do is that, try to keep your good habits. Just don't stop them. Just because you're on vacation doesn't mean your body should be on vacation either. Just keep on walking. Take that stroll. Don't make the gathering all about food. It's about your family. It's about listening to them. It's about sharing stories. It's not about the food. And that's the thing. I mean, when you love somebody, a lot of the times you want to show them love by baking them a pie, baking them cookies. But you know what? You can show love by just sharing some time with them, going out for a walk and throwing the soccer ball around or the football. So, I mean, that's just something that you want to consider in the holidays. Could you want to share with us some holiday traditions? You as female athletes and boxers. I mean, you try your best to keep in shape all the time. I need to learn something. Maybe the audience could learn something. Is there something that you do that you recommend as professionals?
Just at least walking.
Walking
is so good. And just cardio, just while you're talking, and before you know it, you've already walked a mile while you're talking and walking. And
wow.
So.
That's exactly what I do with my walk and talk class at Oscar Johnson. We're going to have, I just came from that class, and we do a lot of walking, we do exercising, and we decompress, we vent, we chat, we share recipes, all that stuff. And if you want to know more about these walk and talk classes, please call Oscar Johnson at 936-522-3960. And that's for more information. It's 936-522-3960. And that's for our upcoming Texas A&M AgriLife offices, Better Living for Texans classes. So we will be coming back after these messages. And you are listening to Lone Star Internet Radio. That's www.irlonestar.com.
You are listening to the Extension Hour with Texas A&M AgriLife. Visit us online at montgomery.agrilife.org.
The East Texas Dream Center is in need of your help. We are a nonprofit Christian organization that houses women and children who are trying to get their lives back after being homeless, abused, or addicted. We are conveniently located at 301 South 1st Street, Conroe, Texas, 77301, right here in Montgomery County. Our needs are financial, and every needs of gasoline, cleaning supplies, laundry soap, Lysol, and whatever else God puts in your heart. To help our ladies and children, please consider a donation. You may visit our website at www.easttexasdreamcenter.org. Again, so you don't forget, it's www.easttexasdreamcenter.org. Donations are tax deductible. Remember what Jesus said, with God, nothing is impossible.
Hi folks, it's your old buddy Luke Clayton, and I want to invite you to join me every Saturday morning right here on Lone Star Internet Radio from 8 to 9 for Outdoors with Luke Clayton and Friends. Bill Dance is a frequent guest. Larry Weissler, Mr. Whitetail, is on the show every week. We talk a lot of hunting and fishing and generally have a good time. So remember, every Saturday morning, 8 to 9, right here on Lone Star Internet Radio.
The Conroe YMCA's benchmark adaptive programming for kids and adults is Leap of Faith. Leap of Faith is an equine-assisted therapy program serving children and adults with adaptive needs. The riders in our Leap of Faith program are working to address and manage specific aspects of their lives impacted by illness, injury, or disability. The Leap of Faith program has experience working with riders who are living with attention deficit or other hyperactivity disorders, hearing impairments, visual impairments, developmental delays or disabilities, autism, Down syndrome, multiple sclerosis, muscular dystrophy, head traumas, brain injuries, and paralysis. Our program uses horseback riding to develop self-confidence and self-esteem, to increase upper and lower body strength, assist in respiratory issues, and establish a trusting relationship between the rider and their horse. Not only do these activities aid in the physical and mental development of the rider, but they also foster self-reliance and independence. For more information regarding our program, to become a rider, or to volunteer with a great group of people, please call our Welcome Center at 936-441-9622 or visit our website at www.ymcahouston.org/Conroe.
Doing business since 1985, Assistance League of Montgomery County is a nonprofit, all-volunteer organization where all proceeds stay in Montgomery County. Through our Operation School Bell program, we have provided new clothes to over 50,000 students in our county. Visit our thrift shop at 126 North San Jacinto Street in downtown Conroe or call us at 936-760-1151. Don't forget to like us on Facebook.
Howdy, 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 and welcome again to the Texas A&M AgriLife Extension Hour, and this is Yvonne Welther, your host for the Better Living for Texans Hour. And today I have a guest. I have two guests with me, some very special gals, and that's Miss Nancy Wagoner and Miss Diana Salinas, and they are both boxing coaches. I mean, they're pros. They're out there in the ring judging punches and all that stuff. And let me tell you, they're some very great people, and they've helped me lose 11 pounds, y'all. So what we're going to do is that last segment we were talking about the holiday blues, and really the holiday blues is all about that, avoiding that holiday weight gain. And, you know, focusing maybe on things that really do matter as opposed to just it's all about the food. And it's not. So now, speaking of weight gain, we're going to be talking about a very important issue with women's health. And I do believe... was that the number one killer, Miss Nancy? We were just discussing this. What is the number one? The heart disease. Heart disease. And in women. In women. So what's the number two killer of women? Cancer. Okay, and this is all from where? What's your source? Is it the American Cancer Society? It's Centers for Disease Control.
Centers for Disease Control.
So
women.
Yeah, that's very serious, and you know the awful thing about it is that these diseases are preventable, or are they not? They're very preventable. Most cancers, definitely, but heart disease, from what I understand, it's the one that surpasses all of them by leaps and bounds. And I could tell you right now, that most of the people who have passed away in my family, it's been a heart disease issue. So you're more likely to be touched by something like this than anything else. I'll be honest with you. I have had some issues with people having cancer in the family, but they've survived that. Thankfully, we have all this great new technology and what have you, and it's great. But heart disease, man, that's something that we should consider seriously. And what would you say is a big contributor to that heart disease issue, ladies, as professional athletes?
Lack of exercise. Diet, stress.
Mm-hmm. That's right. And you're right. You hit the nail on the head. And that's exactly what it is. The CDC's will tell you, the American Heart Association will tell you the very same thing. What's killing us silently is our lifestyle. Yep. I had the opportunity to be at the King Ranch Institute for Ranch Management, and we had the director from Parks and Wildlife, main guy. One of the first things he said was, can you all guess, he asked us, the audience, can you all guess what is the average amount of time an adult spends outside a week? So there was people saying 5 hours, 4 hours. It's like, nope, that was wrong. 40 minutes a week. This is from the main guy himself. He said that an average adult person spends an average time of 40 minutes outside a week. Can you guess how many minutes children spend, ladies? You who work with a lot of children.
Probably less than 30 minutes.
Wow. Is that what you see nowadays?
Sure, because they're all in front of their video cameras. Video games, playing their games and such. But when they're with us at Fearless Boxing Gym, it's a whole lot more than that.
I've seen them kids
outside running, doing sprints, exercising outside, getting that vitamin D into them.
That's right. And, actually the average amount of time children spent outside is 46 minutes. 46 minutes. Or maybe, 46. So that's not any better. If it was 56, it's still kind of depressing. Back in the day, I remember just being outside, running barefoot and stepping on burrs and just stop for a while to pluck them off the plantar part of my foot and keep on running. But nowadays, I don't know what it is. I guess technology is very persuasive and not wanting to, and making kids just look at the screen and not do anything else. But that's a very unfortunate thing. With us, speaking of adults, and we're going to get into the topic of women and what's killing us is the heart disease issue. Our lifestyle, like you had mentioned, is the kicker. Miss Nancy, what do you see a lot of and Miss Diana, what have you seen a lot of in your experience with women and exercise? You are women. You're very atypical
women
in this scene. Is it something like, are many people not, are women just not told that they can do something, or what's holding us back from being more physically active? Is it family? Is it
being confident
that we're going to be okay and we don't need to do anything else, or
being confident walking into the gym?
Really,
people feel when they walk into Fearless Boxing that they have to prepare themselves to fight, to be in the ring. You don't have to fight. You don't have to be in the ring. We work you in endurance. We work you in cardio. We build you up. We develop fellowship between each member. I mean, you learn to have friends there, have family, and that builds up your emotions to get you into a gym.
So community basically is the people. I guess we are so fearful that we'll be judged harshly because, oh, look, she shouldn't be wearing that leotard. No, I didn't mean leotard. I'm sorry. Or certain workout clothes that they have. And I don't wear a leotard, just for the record. But, I mean, I'm just thinking, is that what... I just can't imagine that because I haven't... The only gym membership I have had, because I feel... Oh, there you go. There we go. I just gave myself away. I think the reason I've never really liked the gym is because of the looks. And I've had a 1-week membership at a big place, and I just remember feeling so intimidated and uncomfortable. And I guess we should get over that.
When you go into
we're going to be judged because we're jiggly and a little bit more here, a little bit more there, and we're not as fit as the rest. So that's that could be a major discourager for people to want to do something or start. At least to start, you just can't become a super athlete in a week or two. You got to take your time. I understand that. So from what I understand also is that if you're not used to something, you start them off slow.
Well, sure, we start them off very slow. And we have ages we have from 5 to 65 in the gym.
Right.
I mean, you can start at any point in time. You're never too old.
You're never too old.
You're never too old.
I think a lot of the times is also, besides being scared of presenting ourselves and, gym clothes, it's probably, we feel it might be revealing of a little bit much here and there. But I think part of it is that we're afraid that we're not going to be able to catch up or we're too old for something. That's nonsense, is it?
Yes, but you're never too old.
You're never too old to start.
And to classify as far as gym clothes, what are gym clothes?
Well, they're usually these fancy, pretty things that cost a whole lot of money.
No, you can go in.
That's what I've seen. But I think just a plain old T-shirt and those old sweatpants will just do the job.
Exactly.
My gosh. And from what I understand also, according to the CDCs, is also that you want to start slow. And I'm going to be reading off of a physical activity and health page that they had. They recommend for you to start slow. Cardiac events such as a heart attack are rare during physical activity, but the risk does go up when you suddenly become much more active than usual. For example, you can put yourself at risk if you don't usually get much physical activity and then all of a sudden do vigorous intensity aerobic activity like shoveling snow. That's why it is important to start slow and gradually increase your level of activity. So ladies, do not feel intimidated by the clothes. Do not feel intimidated by the people. Just do this for yourself. Find a place that you're comfortable with. Make sure that that you're okay with that, and don't feel like you have to be running a marathon or be boxing Ronda Rousey by next week or something like that. That's not how it happens, is it?
No.
How long, I mean, you ladies have trained a lot of people. How long does it take for a person to start from scratch and then become a fighter in the ring?
I recommend at least, like our Golden Gloves in Houston, we recommend at least 6 months before you even get in there.
But 6 months pro training. I'm
Right.
talking about a regular old schmuck like myself. It's just, regular person who would like to do that.
Depends on the
it takes a
person
while.
and their talent and
Right.
their dedication.
That's right.
I mean, some person can have all the talent in the world and not be dedicated to do it. So it's going to take them longer to advance.
Right. My goodness. So, I hope you're listening to this and think, well, it's too late. I don't have fancy gym clothes. You don't need that. What you need to do is that you realize that you need to take your time. Do not be discouraged by yourself. Yourself might say, well, let's not do this exercise. But go ahead. Take your time. Work yourself up. Do a walking exercise. It doesn't have to be something that's fancy. And I do boxing because I really enjoy it. It makes me so happy to be punching a bag.
For me.
Yeah, and I'm getting quick reflexes and all that, and my cardio. I felt my lungs open up for the first time in a long time. I was like, I didn't know my lungs were that big. Isn't that sad? But now, we fixed that. But it takes almost a community. You want to start, like with my walk and talk classes, we get a bunch of ladies together, and we encourage each other, and we share each other's stories and recipes, and we get into all sorts of crazy topics. But man, it's great. I love it. I love my girls there, and hopefully we could start up other classes in other places and do the same. Maybe make an impact for people and let them understand, hey, give it a shot.
Well, we have the classes starting at 9:30 in the morning.
Okay.
And then again at 11:30. And then we have a class at 1:30 at Fearless Boxing, doing circuit training and improving the cardio of the person to their ability.
Awesome. And if anything, people always have this idea that they're going to be hitting other people in the face all the time, but that's not so.
No.
I've been
No.
doing this, and I've never.
You never have to get in the ring.
Yeah.
You never have to be hit. You will learn to hit, but you never have to be hit.
That's great. Wow. Well, and that's the thing is that, ladies, please do something. Do it for yourself. Do it for your children. Because what a lot of us don't realize is that don't feel guilty that you're putting everything behind you. You want to take care of yourself because nobody else can. I know you're in charge of your household, your husband, your children, your parents sometimes. But you know what? Give yourself some time for yourself. It's well worth it. It's the most worthy investment you can do is give yourself a little bit of time, go out for a stroll, get that heart pumping. And, you can't go wrong doing something this right. So, all right. We'll in a few minutes, we will be back with our second portion of the show. And you're listening to Lone Star Internet Radio. And this is Yvonne Welther from Better Living for Texans.
You're listening to the Extension Hour on Lone Star Internet Radio every Friday afternoon at 1 p.m.
Hello, Montgomery County. I'm Rachel Baldwin with Special Olympics Texas Area 6. Are you a fan of courage? Are you a fan of determination? Are you a fan of acceptance, grace, and skill? Then you're already a fan of Special Olympics. Make it official. Volunteer, coach, and or compete and be a fan of dignity and acceptance. The dedication of our Special Olympics Texas volunteers provides mainstreaming experiences for athletes with intellectual disabilities. You will touch the heart of another person, and it will move you in a meaningful way that lifts the spirit. Please visit the Heart of East Texas Area 6 webpage at www.sotx.org. Also, like us on Facebook to be a fan and be part of Special Olympics Texas.
Tune in to Chamber Chat with your hosts, Courtney Galley and Samantha Good, with the Conroe, Lake Conroe Chamber of Commerce every first Tuesday of the month at 11 a.m. I'm one of your hosts, Courtney Galley. Samantha and I will chat about the Conroe Chamber's upcoming events and programs for the month. Relax with a cup of joe or your favorite drink for Chamber Chat.
Are you interested in learning more about preparing quick, healthy, and safe meals for your family? Would you like to spend time with others learning tips and tricks, along with practicing and tasting nutritious food? If so, the On the Road to Healthy Living Mobile Cooking School is for you. Call Amy Ressler at Texas A&M AgriLife Extension Service at 936-539-7825 to find a class near you or volunteer to host a class.
This is Holly Price, Events Manager with Children's Cancer Recovery Foundation. The foundation assists children under age 18 and their families who are facing the hardships of a cancer diagnosis. Our mission focuses on improving the mental, social, and emotional well-being of these families while helping to minimize the devastation that cancer can cause. Located in the Woodlands, Texas, we support families who often face financial difficulties through our Helping Hands Fund. The Helping Hands Fund provides emergency bridge payments directly to the utility companies and landlords, ensuring that each child has a warm, safe place to call home while recovering from cancer. For more information, you can contact us directly at 713-389-5544. You can also check out our upcoming events or make a donation by visiting our website at www.childrenscancerrecovery.org.
Howdy, and welcome to the Texas A&M AgriLife Extension Hour on Lone Star Internet Radio. You are listening to Yvonne Welther, the Better Living for Texas rep for Montgomery County, and I have my two lovely guests, Miss Diana Salinas and Miss Nancy Wagoner, two professional boxing chicks. And not only do they box, but they also coach, and they got some interesting stories I've heard from them, speaking to them as being professional athletes and all. And training professional athletes. But now, speaking of physical activity and pros, will you all agree that the benefits of physical activity are so many that we just can't deny it? I mean, we can't deny exercise to ourselves. We can't deny it. And we got some more information from the good people at the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. It's the key word, prevention. Is that, as we discussed in the last segment, the number one killer for women is
heart disease.
Heart disease, yeah. And that's very preventable. A lot of those top three killers for women is, contrary to what they might think because of the campaigns, it's not breast cancer, it's heart disease. So, and it touches many of our lives, and people that we know might be suffering from it. I know for a fact that I've lost most of the family members who have passed away, it's been because of heart disease. People who are suffering from that in my family have heart disease. And that's a very unfortunate thing, especially when we could have done something to prevent it. And what we do when we are young tells us what kind of life we're going to have later on in the years. But, I mean, there are ways to control it. So according to the CDC's, physical activity and health has a lot of benefits, and I'm going to list them, starting with weight control. Regular physical activity is one of the most important things that we can do for our health. It can help control your weight, reduce the risk of cardiovascular disease, bing, bing, bing. Reduce your risk for type 2 diabetes and metabolic syndrome, that's a big one. Reduce your risk of some cancers, absolutely. Strengthen your bones and muscles, yes. Improve your mental health and mood, oh yeah, definitely. Improve your ability to do daily activities and prevent falls if you're an older adult. And it increases your chances of living longer. Who wouldn't want that? So, and living longer and living better. How about that? I mean, I want to be like this old lady who's boogieing down on the dance floor, and yeah, maybe I have a little cane with me, but I want to be that little old lady. I want to be a healthy old person. So, what we're going to do is that we can talk about the benefits and their mood, and we were agreeing upon this, that if your mood is kind of in the gutter, we're going to feel like we're in the gutter, and we're going to want to stay in the gutter. That's the problem. It's a vicious cycle. We're in a bad mood. We don't want to go outside. We don't want to do anything. So, hey, if you're feeling like you're in the gutter, get out of it and get on a sidewalk or a trail. Would you agree with that?
I agree, totally.
Really? I mean, it also prevents you, we're talking about the holidays like we were earlier. It's going to prevent us from fighting with the other family members. Oh, I'm just kidding with that. So what you want to do is that what it does, the benefits of physical activity, is that it helps control our weight. So, I mean, for obvious reasons, you know, when you gain weight, the calories you burn, including those that you burn during physical activity, are less than the calories you eat or drink. Okay? You gain weight when you eat more, or you take more in than you're burning. And, you know, that happens. Again, you know, going back to the holidays, a lot of those, I think from what I read, and it's not official, but we eat an average of like 4,000 calories because of the gravies, the sauces, and all that's included in the, you know, traditional foods. It's, you know, we're going to be tempted to do that, and that's going to happen. And you remember how I was mentioning that we gain an average of 1 pound every holiday season, but, you know, you can gain that pound, but how hard is it to lose?
Very hard.
Very hard. That's right. Oh my gosh, I've been trying to lose 5 pounds for like a year, I promise. So it's not very easy. So think about it. If you gain 1 pound for every year, every holiday end, and you don't lose that pound, it kind of works like compound interest. I mean, it just kind of builds upon each other, and it builds and it builds and it builds. So in 5 years, you're going to have 5 extra pounds. And mind you, what fat looks like, fat takes up more space than muscle fibers. So you can have something. Have you all ever heard of that analogy of a pound of feathers or a pound of gold? What weighs more? Well, they're both a pound, but this one has more volume. You know, a pound of feathers might look like a big fluffy pillow, but you have a pound of gold, and it's going to be like a little tiny, like a third of a size of a deck of cards or something. It's, you know, that's what we're talking. It's the volume. And not only that, but I mean, going back to what fat is in our body, it squishes the organs. It puts more weight on you. Your body has to work harder to get your, you know, its regular systems going, and it's just, you know, it does a number on our system, and we don't need to do that. So we want to balance our calories. Make sure that if you're taking some in, that you're burning it out. So do, by all means, go out for that walk. It also helps, you know, the benefits is that it helps us maintain our weight. You know, I don't want to gain more than what I am at right now, so I'm just going to continue doing my routines, doing my boxing training and all that. And not only that, is that you gain muscle and you lose the fat. So don't let the scale deceive you by saying, well, it doesn't look like I did anything. Is this right or not? You know, ladies, you have these muscle men that you train.
Muscle weighs more than fat, too.
Muscle weighs more than fat. And it looks kind of nice, too. So that's the thing, is that you want to maintain your weight, and you also want to make sure you don't gain more. So
and if you think you're going to do it by a fad diet, all the fad diets, you're dropping in, you lose 10 pounds, you're over the diet. By the next 30 days, I bet you've gained 15 back.
Wow. And you know what? Let me tell you, I've heard many people talk about that. They do this pretty wacky stuff, and sometimes it ends up costing them a whole lot of money.
Yes.
And that's something I wouldn't be able to afford. I mean, from what I understand, some people pay up to $300 a month for some things that they buy. I'm not going to say what they have because I have no idea, but they had mentioned it in my walk and talk class. And they said, you know, I couldn't afford to be thin anymore. I was like, you know, sister, all you needed to do is come to my class and do a little bit of walking, and we'll do some nutrition classes. That's all. Or you can go to Miss Nancy and Miss Diana, and they'll turn you into a Golden Glove champ. So what we want to do is that we want to also mind all the benefits. We're talking about the benefits of physical activity. Ladies, please do not put yourself last. Put yourself first. You want to be around for your children and your grandchildren and, you know, your family moments and times. I mean, you see all these benefits that exercise has. I mean, you can have all the good diet and it's all fresh and natural, but if you don't have exercise as part of your healthy living, you're only doing it half right. You're only doing it half right.
And when you exercise and your family sees you exercise, your children are going to exercise.
Wow. Very good point.
It continues.
I'm slowly clapping and standing up because you just said that. That's right.
It continues.
That's right. You do, women, you make an impact on your children's, on your family's life. And I can't tell you how happy it made me when my mom would go walking. I thought it brought tears to my eyes when I saw my mama when we were little. Her making an effort to walk for her health, because that made me happy because I knew my mom was going to be around for a long time. Thankfully, she still is. But when I was a child, I wasn't thinking, oh, how dare she go out and walk, not want to play Barbies with me. It wasn't like that. It was like, yay, Mom, you know. It made me happy to know that she cared enough because she wanted to be around longer.
Right.
Because that's what it means. Kids know.
Right.
You don't think they look or they listen. They calculate and they figure and they do all this stuff, and they see the light at the end of the tunnel. They say, I know what this is going to lead up to. This is a good thing. So so do this for your children, because your children will learn, and you lower your risk of having issues with obesity in your children when you're an example to them. You teach them how to play. You teach them how to exercise and all that good stuff. You do make an impact on their lives. And from what I understand, we'll share some interesting stories about how these women impacted their children. And the fourth half, the quarter hour, and we will be talking about that a little bit more. But going back right before we cut to break, just the benefits are so good. If you want, I will let you have the website for the CDCs, which is where we're getting our very good information from. It's www.cdcs.gov/physical activity together/basics. So by all means, do read up on this subject. The information isn't secret. It's not prohibited. It's there for you in black and white. Go ahead, read that up on it, and hopefully it'll inspire you to do something and make a change. And we will be back. You are listening to Lone Star Internet Radio. This is Yvonne Welther from Better Living for Texans, Texas A&M AgriLife Extension.
You are listening to the Extension Hour on irlonestar.com.
Hi, this is Erica Tullis, Executive Director of the Breast Cancer Charities of America. The Breast Cancer Charities of America is a national nonprofit organization with our headquarters in the Woodlands, Texas. We focus on non-invasive breast cancer research and helping the true patient that is going through breast cancer. Through our Help Now Fund, we help women pay the rent and utilities while going through their breast cancer treatment. It's unlike any other program that truly is out there. We are here to help the woman. Our phone number is 936-231-8460. For more information or to get involved or to even make a donation, please visit our website, www.igopink.org.
Hi folks, it's your old buddy Luke Clayton, and I want to invite you to join me every Saturday morning right here on Lone Star Internet Radio from 8 to 9 for Outdoors with Luke Clayton and Friends. Bill Dance is a frequent guest. Larry Weisser and Mr. Whitetail is on the show every week. We talk a lot of hunting and fishing and generally have a good time. So remember, every Saturday morning, 8 to 9, right here on Lone Star Internet Radio.
This is Holly Price, Events Manager with Children's Cancer Recovery Foundation. The foundation assists children under age 18 and their families who are facing the hardships of a cancer diagnosis. Our mission focuses on improving the mental, social, and emotional well-being of these families while helping to minimize the devastation that cancer can cause. Located in the Woodlands, Texas, we support families who often face financial difficulties through our Helping Hands Fund. The Helping Hands Fund provides emergency bridge payments directly to the utility companies and landlords, ensuring that each child has a warm, safe place to call home while recovering from cancer. For more information, you can contact us directly at 713-389-5544. You can also check out our upcoming events or make a donation by visiting our website at www.childrenscancerrecovery.org.
I'm Lieutenant Bob Berry with the Conroe Police Department, reminding you that drinking and driving do not mix. Drinking and driving causes an alcohol-related fatality every hour in the United States. Stay sober and stay alive.
Howdy, y'all, and welcome back. Hopefully, y'all have been listening to this great show. We got some guests today, and this is Yvonne Welther, your Better Living for Texans person for Montgomery County. And we got our guests today, Miss Diana Salinas and Nancy Wagoner. They are both coaches and for USA boxing officials. They're from Fearless Boxing Gym here in Conroe, Texas, and they do a great work out being out in the community and inspiring young people to be involved in their health and help others. What we're gonna do, we had talked about some the benefits of health and it's so much, ladies, please by all means look into this, get involved with your health and do something, make any effort that you can to take care of yourself so you can be there for your kids and your family. And people ask me a lot, it's like, well, how much physical activity is physical activity? And to answer you that, moderate activity, according to the Centers for Disease Control, it's recommended that adults engage in moderate intensity physical activity for at least 30 minutes on 5 or more days a week. Okay, but what is moderate activity? If you can't sing to yourself happy birthday, that means you're doing a good job. You can't be like, well, I've been walking here for an hour and you can sing happy birthday to yourself. No, you have to be like, happy, you got to do that. You just have to be out of breath somewhat. So that's a good way to tell if you're doing the right amount or right intensity of physical activity. And you just, do what you can, do it slowly, work yourself up, work your way up. And we were talking about how you can form a relationship with your kids that's positive by doing that. Ladies, I guess these days it's hard to connect with our kids. We were talking about electronics and our work schedules. It's kind of crazy. But do dedicate time for yourself. And you know what? Make it a family event. Wouldn't you agree? I think these two ladies have very interesting stories about their children as well. Would you believe it if I told you that they both have professional boxers in their families? Your own children. Ms. Diana, from what I understand, you got how many boys who are pro?
I have 4 boys. They've all boxed, but I have 2 that are pro.
Wow. And Miss Nancy?
I have one that boxes for West Point Military Academy.
Wow, that is fantastic. He's a Black Knight.
Black Knight.
Wow. And obviously I think they learn from their mamas.
No,
isn't that crazy?
Actually, Derek started boxing at age 8 with James Reyna.
Mm-hmm.
And he continued boxing and playing football with Coach Walter Milo. Did that throughout his years. We've stayed with James Reyna because of his teaching skills that he has done for Derek. We never dreamed he'd box for West Point Military Academy, but when he got there, they loved his talent. They asked him to box, wanted to know who taught him. And now he's on their team.
That's
been on
amazing.
the team for a year and a half.
That's amazing.
They love him there. They love his skills. And we hope he gets to go to nationals this year.
Wow, because not anybody just gets into West Point. I mean, you need like so many letters from Congressman. You need basically like the Archangel Michael to come down and say, you got to get this kid into this. I mean, I'm kidding, but man, it's a very good school.
It's a very good school. You got to be very well conditioned to get into West Point.
Right.
And Derek, we started him in boxing because of his breathing. Actually, he was on inhalers when he was at age 8.
Wow.
By the time he was 12, after boxing and football, we had no more inhalers. We didn't use them anymore. We built his lungs up so good in breathing with the boxing that he didn't need inhalers anymore.
Wow.
He could breathe very well on his own.
That's amazing. But let me tell you don't realize this, but your appreciation for being physically active and the benefits of that. You knew it. And this is how you inspire your kids. You are an example for them. I mean, with all due respect, Nancy, I'm just going to put it like this. What if you were like couch potato person? You think your kid would be wanting to, it's like, well, if there was nobody to push him, nobody to take him there, to show him this is important, my child, this is important, you know? So yes, you, Mom, had an impact on what I did physically, which took me to where I am now. So yeah, our kids are watching us. Yeah, they get inspired. Yeah, we make a difference. So yes, moms of the world, our children are watching us. So be careful out there, and let's inspire them for the best. And what about you, Miss Diana? What was your I guess testimonial about
the same thing? I had 4 boys. 2 of my boys had severe asthma when they were young.
Holy moly!
And
so I mean, with I don't mean to be ignorant about that, but I've never had asthma before. What's that like?
It's horrible when you're watching your kids that can't breathe.
But why? I mean, was this because they would climb up the stairs, or?
It could be anything.
Anything.
It could be anything.
Triggers that.
Yeah.
Anything can trigger an asthma attack.
Wow.
Yeah.
That must have been scary.
It was. It was really scary. I mean, I had to do a lot of breathing treatments. I've had to take him to the hospital. But the one that had it the worst, he ended up being a Golden Glove State champ for the state of Texas 4 years in a row.
Way to go.
And he had it the worst.
Whoop.
So now he doesn't use an inhaler. He doesn't have any problems breathing. His lungs are pretty strong now.
I would say.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I still have one that is very active in the pro boxing. Also, he had asthma really bad when he was little, and now he's a pro boxer, and he's 6-0, and he's doing well right now.
Holy moly. So you know what? When they ask him one of these days, they're going to be, so who inspired you? Was it Evander Holyfield? Was it Mike Tyson? It was like, it was my old lady because she could throw a punch. I mean, really, y'all don't give yourself that credit, but that's the way I see it. I mean, because, you know, Mom is the one that takes us to practice. Mom is the one that encourages us, who's out there. And Miss Nancy and Miss Diana, I've seen y'all. And you're out there training the little kids how to throw punches,
thing I liked
how
about
to train.
Boxing is that our kids do meet a lot of professional boxers, like Holyfield and George Foreman. They go out to the
I love his grill.
boxing, yeah.
Oh.
And they're like regular people. So.
So. To think. Well, that was fantastic that you were kind enough to come over and visit with me at IR Lone Star Radio. And I guess next week we'll be having another Texas A&M Extension Hour, and this is Yvonne Welther, and I thank you for joining us for the BLT Better Living for Texans Extension Hour. All right. Well, y'all have yourselves a good day. Talk to you soon.